Hi, and welcome to the Facebook Live that's not a Facebook Live. We were meant to be going live in the Facebook group tonight at 8 p.m., but this is a recording because had some technical difficulties that we were unable to overcome. So we will be going live in the group on a more regular basis, doing an actual Facebook Live. But tonight it's just a recording. It's not a live, so you're not going to be able to ask questions or anything like that, unfortunately. But if you've got any questions, just comment below or inbox me directly, and yeah, we can go from there. So I wanted to talk about a few things before we get into it, really. I want to just cover a few things off in the group because in this Facebook group, it's people have messaged me saying that they find it really annoying that the group is just full of property deals every single day. Now, we do have a group rule that the only day you can post property deals is a Monday, but that's just too difficult for people to follow. I have posted about this in the past. If you post a deal on any other day, it will be deleted and you may be deleted from the group. Now, in the past, well, over the weekend, I guess, over the weekend, I sat there for 10 minutes and must have deleted about 20, 30 people from the group because they were just randomly posting deals all week long, not listening to the warnings, and so they're gone. They're out the group. So hopefully it's going to become less. So yeah, don't do it. Don't post your property deals in the group unless it's a Monday, like today. Just off the back of that, really, I wanted to talk about um, property deals being posted on Facebook, on social media. Now, I spoke about this on a video last week, actually. And I think people that post property deals trying to sell them, rent to rent, service accommodation, opportunities, buy to lets, whatever it is, don't care. If you're trying to sell deals on Facebook, in property groups, on Instagram, then you have to ask yourself a question. Who told you to do that and why are you doing that? Are you doing that because you think that's the best way to sell a deal? Are you doing that because it's the only way you know? You know, maybe your property training, your property course that you did, your property guru who you're listening to has told you to go and do that. Let me tell you a couple of things. Harsh truths, right? That's what we're getting down to here. Property deals, think about it, right? If somebody is going to buy a property investment, yeah, they are not going to be buying that property investment from a stranger on a Facebook group. Think about it logically, be honest with yourself. If you're an investor, put your investor hat on and you're looking for your next buy to let, let's say. You're not going to buy it from a complete stranger on a Facebook group. I'm sorry, you're not. It's the needle in the haystack. It's the 1 in 100 that might actually go from a Facebook group, from a Facebook post, from an Instagram post, and it actually gets reserved and then, or whatever, sold. And it gets to that point where you're getting money in the bank. So if you're a deal sourcer, you're a deal packager out there, and you're doing this, thinking that you're finding deals, thinking, well, it's good, it stacks up, so somebody will buy it. Let me tell you, you're going about the business in the complete and utter wrong way. That's not how deal packaging works in the real world. And I can say that because I've been in the business for 20 odd years. I can say that because I've been involved in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals. And the ones that I've sold were to investor clients I already had a relationship with. They were to investor clients who were referred to me by other investors that I'd already worked with. So there's a level of trust there. I think I can probably count on one hand the property deals that I sourced for investors that were complete strangers, literally on one hand in 15, 20 years of deal packaging off and on throughout that time. So that tells you, it's glaringly obvious. If you're posting your deals on Facebook and you're sitting there crossing your fingers hoping somebody's going to buy, then you really need to have a look at your business and have a look at what you're doing because you're doing it wrong, you're not doing it right. Get out there, find your investor first, qualify them, find out what they want, and then go and find what they want, not what you think is a deal. Think about it. As I explain it, deal packaging is a business where it's a service-based business. You are serving the needs of your investor clients. That's what you're doing. That's the point of this. So go and find that investor client, that ideal client, find out what they want, ask them a load of questions, qualify them properly, do your AML checks, do everything properly, and then go and find what they want. And if you find what they're looking for, guess what's going to happen? You've already got your buyer lined up. There's a very high probability that they are going to purchase that project, that deal that you've found, because you've got a relationship, you've built that trust, you're listening to what they're telling you they want, and you go in and finding it. That's a much better way of doing it. Much better way of doing it. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more on the topic. We can get into it another time. You can ask questions. If you're struggling, that's what you're doing, then reach out to me, because there's another way of deal packaging. There's another way of sourcing, which actually does work, which doesn't revolve around you wasting a load of time looking at what you think is a deal and then throwing it on Facebook groups and hoping somebody buys. Don't do that. Please don't waste your time. You don't need to. So what I want to talk about is are you feeling lost in your property journey? Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling confused? Do you have a lack of confidence after doing a property course? If that's you and you're nodding along, then this is probably going to be, really valuable for you. And it's really common, You are not alone in that. If you're sitting here thinking, yeah, I've done a property course, I did some property training, I felt all excited when I did that training. I thought it was going to generate a load of income. I thought it was easy. And now I'm scratching my head. I'm stressed to death. I'm thinking, what on earth do I do? You don't really know what your next steps are. There's a lot of confusion. And what does confusion breed? Nothing. Nothing happens because you're not sure what to do. If that's you, you're not alone. You are definitely not alone, because most people that do property courses out there, I'll tell you now, they do a property course because they see things like this. Become financially free in 7 days. And you're thinking, I'm in. Where do I send my money? A guru in the UK actually said something along these lines a few years ago. Become financially free in a week. Absolute nonsense. I'm sorry, it's absolute BS. And if you're the type of person that will latch on to something like that, you need to pump the brakes. You need to stop. Stop watching this YouTube stuff. Stop looking at the videos on Instagram and various other places where people are making things out to be very easy in property. Certain strategies are literally a way to print money. Absolute nonsense. Nothing in property is easy. Nothing in property is easy at all. And it is BS. And there's a lot of BS in property. So anything that sounds a little bit too get rich quick, anything that sounds a little too good to be true, guess what? It is. It's too good to be true. And I don't care who it is. I don't care how big the name is. I don't care how many followers they've got on Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform they're on. Literally don't believe them. I've been to a lot of these property seminars over the years, a lot of these free property training events that these guys put on. And it's a pitch fest. It is a total pitch fest. They'll give you some nuggets of information on a strategy and they'll make it sound amazing. Like, they'll blow your socks off. They will make it sound unbelievable. They'll also make it sound easy. They'll make it sound like it's a really fast path to cash. They'll talk about people earning sums of money quick. And yeah, it's a lot of BS. And that's all structured in such a way so you buy their property training. And you buy their property training and you do a property course, and then you are where you are now, if this is you, feeling stuck, don't know what to do, don't know what your next steps are, you feel a little bit confused, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like maybe you've wasted your money and you're regretting your decision, but you're still seeing this stuff online, you're thinking, yeah, this is right, maybe I'm just missing some bit of information somewhere, and that's what I need. And this is the problem. I've seen this time and time again over the years where people buy a property course from a guru, spend two or three grand on a property course, and then they hit a brick wall because actually a property course will give you the knowledge. It might give you, a rough idea of the processes. But when you actually start implementing that stuff, you will come up against things that are not in that training, that is not in that course, that was not talked about, and you won't know the answer. You won't know how to get around that issue or that problem without reaching out to other people and scratching around on the internet trying to find the answer. So a lot of people do a property course and get stuck. That's the reality. Most, I would say, above 90% of people do a property course and they get stuck because the course is only a little piece of the jigsaw. That's all it is. And it's so common out there. And this is why I got involved in property education myself, to be quite honest, because what I seen in 20 years in property was a lot of people I would meet at property networking meetings, property network events, and they'd be full of beans. They'd be full of excitement. Oh yeah, I've just done this course with such and such. I've just done this course with such and such. Name dropping gurus like there's no tomorrow. And they're full of excitement at the beginning because they've been fed the dream, the financial freedom dream. They've been fed that, at these events, these webinars, seminars, free training events, whatever, and they bought into it. And there's nothing wrong with that. They've done a great job. These gurus are very good at marketing. In fact, they're better at marketing, a lot of them, than they are at property. And, that's honestly, that's where their skills lie. And that's why I got involved in property education, because I kept seeing this and thinking, this isn't right. This is not right. People need a way in without being force-fed the BS, without being told that they need to spend thousands of pounds on property education, without being told that they need to spend 10, 20, 30,000 pounds to get a mentor. Absolute nonsense. BS again. BS. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how we do things a little bit differently, but also give you a couple of things in a minute that I think a lot of people get wrong and a lot of people just don't use, that they could be using right now in their deal sourcing business, on their investment journey, whether you're an investor. It doesn't really matter what strategy you're using. People don't know how to do this thing, and I'm going to share it with you in a little while. But I want to talk to you about somebody that came to me a few years ago now, quite a few years ago, when I just started mentoring people. This is Kushal. Kushal came to me. He was working a day job in the pharmaceutical area, I think it was, and it was a few years ago now. Our initial conversation was, he jumped on the phone and he was like, I've paid for this training from this very well-known trainer who I'm not going to name because they ain't worth it. And it was rent-to-rent training. He'd done a rent-to-rent course and he'd hit a brick wall and he was like, it's absolute rubbish. This course is rubbish that I've got and I'm really struggling. I kind of banging my head against the wall. I don't kind of know what direction to go in. I need help. Can you help me? Because I was offering mentorship. So we had a really good, honest chat, and we went on. And anyway, he joined me. Cut a long story short, he joined me, and in our first kind of few monthly video calls, where we asked a lot of questions, and we got to the bottom of a few things, it actually worked out that rent-to-rent was really not the area for Kushal to be going into. It wasn't something that really excited him, to be quite honest. He'd just been sold the dream, and it fell for it. But we did discover he had a passion for project management and property development. So we formed a plan of action that day over those few months, and Kushal then had a clear idea of what to do next, what his next steps were, and a bit of a longer term plan of what his business, what his investment journey would look like. And he went off and he did a joint venture, a couple of joint ventures it was, with the same investor on a HMO, taking his property right back to brick, doing an amazing job on it, and it was like a 5-star HMO, real high-end stuff. And he did really well out of those two JVs, and now he invests himself, and he's building his portfolio. And we chat every now and again, and he dips in and out every now and again. But he doesn't need me now. He's a successful investor, in his own right now. We had a catch up recently, and it was just about how to expand his business, and that was really interesting. And literally last week or the week before last, Kushal was on Homes Under the Hammer. There's some screen grabs there. So if you want to catch that, I think it's probably still available on the iPlayer. And he's doing great stuff. But the thing was, when he came to me, his head was in this rent-to-rent space, but there was a lot of confusion surrounding it, and it just wasn't for him. The reality was that didn't actually fit Kushal's skill set. It didn't fit around his life, his family and his wife. He had a very specific set of circumstances, and rent-to-rent didn't fit in. It was like, just did not fit in with it. But what we did work out was HMOs, and HMOs did. And, he's gone on to do really, really, really well out of it. And someone else I just want to talk about is Alex. Now, Alex came to me, strangely enough, he was in the middle of doing a joint venture with an investor that I was working with at the time. And he's also one of my mentees. And Alex, he does one thing, and he does one thing really well. And when I say he does one thing, I'm not belittling that at all, because he does it amazingly well. Like, Alex is on another level to a lot of people. And he takes one bed apartments down in and around the London area and just outside, and he turns them into 2 beds, and he does an amazing job. And he does that without putting any money of his own in. He uses the no money down approach, where he's doing the joint venture, where the joint venture partner actually stumps up all of the cash, and he project manages and has the build team and he takes care of absolutely everything else. It's very hands off. So he's doing all the legwork and all the literally managing it from end to end, and he cuts himself in, and he's 50-50, and that's the way he operates. Completed his first project. He netted about 37k, just shy of 40k off one project. He quit his day job, which was in project management and quantity surveying, and now he's full-time in property, and he's just actually employed his first employee, which is his brother. His brother's come on board to take some of the workload off Alex, because Alex is actually doing project 2, 3, 4 and 5 all at the same time. We had a chat last week, and we've got a call later this week actually. And he's going from strength to strength, and his income is exploding. He's well doing over 6 figures now, and that just comes from having a plan of action and running with it and knowing what to do day to day. I can't sing Alex's praises high enough. Honestly, he's a top guy. And this is Ryan. Don't worry, we are going to get to the bit in a minute. I promise. We are going to get to the bit in a minute where I'm going to give you some nuggets of information that everybody should be using that they're not. Literally 60 seconds. So Ryan joined me again. It's about finding your thing in property, and a lot of people banging on about rent-to-rent SA. A lot of people banging on about social housing and these leases that you can do. Literally, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Reen started out in property a few years ago, and she's now on, I think she's 11 or 12 properties in her BRR portfolio. She's been on Homes Under the Hammer as well, as you can see there with a picture. And she's one of my mentees, and she's amazing. She doesn't work. Her portfolio gives her the income that she needs and gives her a very nice lifestyle, and she enjoys that lifestyle. And it's just about simplicity, isn't it? I like things that are simple in property. I'm not a big fan of overcomplicating things. I'm a very big fan. I keep it simple. And, I've got a lot of mentees. I've got another mentee, Darren, who's very similar to Rian, actually. He does have a day job out of choice. He's a physio for jockeys, horse jockeys. And he's a physio, so he looks after the jockeys at all the races and travels all around the country at all the different race meetings. and he's a property investor, and he invests like there's no tomorrow. And yeah, he's doing the same thing as Reen, literally building up his BRR portfolio. I think he's in double figures now as well. And we help him with his, what to do next and how to structure his business and his investments and things like that. And we help him with, any questions and anything that he needs help with, really. Anything property related, business related. Yeah, and he's doing great things as well as Rian. So now I'm going to get into it. So what I want to talk about is, this is a stupidly simple fix, honestly, and people don't use this, and they really should, because I actually remember when I started out in it, deal sourcing. I was playing around with deal sourcing when I was an estate agent. I sold my first few deals via LinkedIn. So to talk about, not knowing who your investor is, this was on another level because they weren't even in the UK, they were overseas investors. But we'll get into that. So LinkedIn is people think of LinkedIn as a social media platform like Facebook, like Instagram, like the others. It's not. Think about it. LinkedIn is not, its algorithm is not to keep you there, watching video after video after video. That's not what LinkedIn's about. You're not going to find your cat playing a piano video and your pimple popping videos on LinkedIn. That's just not what LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is another thing. It's about opportunity. It's about connections. It's a totally different platform, yet people don't really use it for its purpose. But if you do know how to use it, you can really use it to your advantage in a massive, massive way. So I just want to give literally 5 minutes on this because I think it's hugely important, especially if you're looking for a JV partner, especially if you're looking to build your investor database. So if you're just posting random stuff on LinkedIn without very much of a thought about, what are you posting, why are you posting that, what's the purpose of that post, then you're doing yourself wrong. You're leaving money on the table 100%. Because if you can understand who your ideal client avatar is, for example, let's use an example. So if you're a deal packager, a deal sourcer, and you are looking for specifically overseas investors who are looking to invest into the UK, yeah? Quite specific type of person, quite a specific type of investor. Therefore, you don't want to write content that doesn't appeal to that person. You want to write content and create content and give value to that type of person. So you need to understand what that ideal client is. It's not a case of just thinking, well, I want to find overseas investors. You need to dig deeper than that. You really do. And there's a good exercise that I do with my mentees. I say to them, imagine a room, right? You're stood in a room and you're looking around and there's 200 people in that room. Those 200 people are, in a weird way, your ideal client avatar. They are your ideal client, literally, and there's 200 of them in this room right now that you're standing in. What are their problems? What are their pain points? What are they talking about? What are they moaning about? Think about it. Answer those questions. Go and do this as an exercise. It's so important. Who are they? What do they want from investing? What dig down into the issues, dig down into the pain points. Because if we can get to the pain points of those ideal clients, and you can talk about that in your content. So, for example, going back to it, ideal client based overseas but wants to invest in the UK. Well, the biggest problem they have is they're not here. They're not in the UK. They don't have local knowledge. They might know about buy-to-let hotspots, but that's honestly where it will end. I've had many a conversation with investors in Asia and Dubai and wherever, and they all talk about, I've heard this buy-to-let hotspot, and that's it. That is literally all I've heard. So they don't have that key local knowledge. They're not here, so they probably don't have the connections with, bridging lenders, with banks, with accountants, with tax advisors. They just builders, tradespeople. They don't have any of that. Very rare that they do know anybody in the UK that can help them. So straight away, if you're a deal packager and your ideal client is you're targeting the overseas market, fantastic, because it makes a lot of sense. Because they need a deal sourcer, they need a deal packager far, far more than a UK based investor will. If someone's based in London, then they kind of know the UK. And they'll know a lot about the property market, etc. These are overseas investors just don't. So they need you more. So it's actually a great idea and a great place to start. If you're a deal packager right now and you're thinking, well, yeah, I just target anybody. Do you know what? It's honestly, you cannot have that approach. You need to target specific people, because then you know how to solve their problems. Those people, overseas investors, have specific issues and problems that other investors don't have. So if you only ever pump out content on LinkedIn that speaks to them, that gives them the answers, that basically says, have you got this problem? If you've got this problem, this is the solution. Have you got this problem? This is the solution. Have you got this issue? This is the solution. If you're constantly doing that, what happens? They're looking at that content, they're taking it in and going, yeah, that's me. So you're qualifying them to say, yes, that's me, that's my problem. But you're giving them the fix, you're giving them the solution, and the solution is always going to be you. You're the solution. Your business can help them take their next steps in property investing. There is something out there stopping them from investing. And if you can present yourself as the answer, as to make it a complete no-brainer, so somebody's looking at this going, well, I'm an idiot if I don't contact this person. I'd be silly not to reach out to this individual to at least have a conversation to see if they can help me. That's what you want. Because honestly, if you can nail the content on LinkedIn, and you can use this content on other platforms, but why I'm saying LinkedIn is you can target and connect with people in various locations around the world. So you can go into the advanced search filters on LinkedIn, type in property investor, and then narrow it down by location. So say property investors in London, property investors in Dubai, property investors in Hong Kong. Hit enter. Thousands of search results will come back. Thousands of people that have said on their LinkedIn profile, I'm a property investor. Does it get any easier than that? Does it get any easier to find 1,000 property investors? If you do that search in London, you'll probably find 8, 10, 12, 15,000 property investors just in London. And people say they struggle to find investors. I'm sorry, it's you need to know how, you need to skill up, you need to use the tools at your disposal. LinkedIn is free. These things are very simple. It's not rocket science, it's not difficult, but people are not doing it. And the people that are doing it, they're doing well. They're generating leads, they're building relationships, they're building trust. These investors get to know them, get to like them, get to trust them. And when you know, like, and trust, that's the next step, is they're going to reach out and they're going to speak to you. So yeah, get on LinkedIn, think about your ideal client avatar, really dig down into it. Don't be lazy with it. Ask a load of questions, and you'll have a picture then of that person, what they look like, what their problems are, and go from there. What I'd like to do is actually share something with you. So, as you may have seen in the group, we have an opportunity. If you want to be mentored one-to-one by myself, then I have an opportunity. And it ends this Thursday evening, just before midnight, 11:59 to be precise. Don't forget. We have an offer on our property base camp, which is our property mentoring program. It's the only one in the UK. The only property mentorship in the UK, in the entire country, that offers lifetime support and one-to-one mentoring. I don't do group coaching. I don't do group coaching for a reason. One-to-one is so much better because I get to know you, you get to know me, and I understand what you need as well. Everybody comes at it from a different angle. I work with lots of people. I have lots of mentees that I help, and they're all different, and it keeps me interested, and it's exciting stuff. One-to-one training is where it's at. Your problem is, in the UK, you'll pay 15, 20 grand for a year's worth, 12 months of support, probably in a group setting. You won't get one-to-one mentorship. What you won't get is somebody charging less than £1,000 for property mentorship, but they'll give you lifetime access to that mentorship. And that's what we do. You pay us once and I will support and mentor you forever, for as long as you need me to. So if you want a property mentor, we don't have any competition out there. Nobody is our competition. I don't care who they are. I don't care how big they are. Nobody will give you the support I will give you, one-to-one. And how that works typically is you get a monthly video call. So we jump on a video call, imagine like this, and we talk away together for up to an hour. 1 hour a month of us helping you in your business, answering all your questions so you've got clarity, so there's no confusion, there's no feeling of overwhelm, and we send you away with a clear head of, I know what I'm doing this month, I know what steps I need to take. That's what we give you. We give you clarity, we give you accountability, we support you, we answer all your questions, and that's day to day as well. You get access to my personal WhatsApp, so if you've got any questions any day of the week, you can WhatsApp me and ask away, and I'll come back to you. So the level of support is off the scale. Like I say, it's less than £1,000. But here's the thing. If you buy, as you can see on the bottom there, if you buy the property mentorship before the clock strikes midnight on Thursday night, you will get 20% off, an extra 20%. And I'm only giving this to the members, the people in this group. You are the only ones who are getting this, the people in this group. You have to enter the code, give me 20, and you get 20% off. You do that during the checkout on the website. Any questions at all, reach out to me. Happy to jump on a call, happy to have a phone call with you, answer any questions if you've got any questions beforehand. But if not, head on over to psnpropertyblog.com and go from there. Nobody else offers one-to-one mentorship. And I'm sorry this wasn't a live. It should have been a live. I'm going to do a live every single week in the group and answer questions and help people move forwards for free. Once a week for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and jump on and talk about different property stuff as well. And later this week I'll be doing a live. I'll be talking about the budget and everything that's going to come down the line from that. God help us all. But yeah, I'll be back later in the week. Please behave, and don't, please, if you're still watching this, don't post any property deals in the group. One reason, they're not going to sell. Secondly, it's only allowed on a Monday, so don't do it any other day. Right, you've had your warning. That's it from me. Hope you enjoy your evening. And sorry it wasn't a live, but the next one will be. And I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.